Hi, friends. If you're here, you probably already know who I am. My name is Marla, and the focus of the things that I write about and that I teach about are all about grief and also building mental fitness. And they kind of go hand in hand. Um, I There's a lot of misunderstanding about the expectations that people have when they lose a loved one or when they're going through a really hard time. And it's one of the things that it's most helpful to teach someone and explain these unexpected happenings. When you have a loss, say for instance, you have a child that you've lost, or any kind of a loved one in your family, a friend. It can also be something like a job loss, something that was really, really important to you. I mean, really, so many people are going through that right now, loss of a profession. It can be just anything that is devastating to you. And we have this idea when it happens that people will be there for us in our grief. And oftentimes we're very, very shocked and dismayed to find out that the support that we thought we would have, it might be there short term. But while your grief and dealing with the situation goes on for a long time, a lot of people just can't hang with you, and oftentimes it's the ones that you most expected would be there for you, family and close friends. So I wanted to read something to you that I got from a parent who had lost a son, and this person was very dismayed about the situation, and especially when, as you will know if you've had a grief event, the early days are very difficult, but you do expect eventually to feel better, begin to feel better, and get the support that you need. But this person said, right now I feel like I can't live the life I once did. I feel like I can't be the person I was. I can't maintain the same friendships. I can't do the job I once did. It's like I need to completely reinvent myself, and it's overwhelming. And so one of the things about my work is I'm kind of radically honest with people, because it's important for people to understand that they need to be personally responsible for their healing. And sometimes that takes some tough love, and we have to look at ourselves and look at the situation with real honesty. So this is what I wrote back to this person, this parent. I said, it's true. You're not the same person that you were before your sweet son passed, and you can't have the same life that you had then. It's just a fact. We discover who we really are, what matters most to us in life, who can be there for us, who can hold space when we're in pain, and silently sustain us with their presence and empathy without telling us how to grieve or how long. Those people are rare. This new reality is really hard to accept, but if we can release the expectation that family and friends may abandon us in our time of need, we can still build a beautiful life supported by others who do know this journey. I understand letting go of the people who are insensitive, but it's also important to accept that people are mostly full of fear and lack awareness of what it's like to lose a child or another loved one. Their distance and sometimes insensitive comments usually come from a place of ignorance more than malice. And that's another point that I want to touch on briefly. You know, and this is not common just to our society. I've seen this from clients I've dealt with from other parts of the world. We as humans just don't like to talk about death and grief. It's just something we'd rather not discuss. So there are 100 ways that we sort of put it aside, put it out of our minds, and just try and get on with life. And I'm going to do a whole series of short videos about these myths and the ways we try to bypass grief. So it's not uncommon, if you've had a death, for instance, for you to see someone out in the place you might normally see them, maybe in the grocery store or at your child's school, and to have somebody see them actually turn away because they just can't bring themselves to come and confront you. Know that this isn't not it's not an indication that they don't care. More than anything, it's an indication that they don't have the emotional capacity to help you. So I would I would recommend and encourage you to um, try and find a support group or an individual in your life who can be there for you. And no one has to say anything. They just have to be with you and allow you to. That's what holding space means. It means being with someone and allowing them to say the things they need to say, feel the things they need to feel, and to be in that space for as long as they need to. You know, grief has no timeline. It's not linear. The progression of is not in stages that are nice and neat, and you go from this step to this. It's not like that at all. It's much more like waves in the ocean. You know, sometimes you experience at the beginning, especially very high waves and deep troughs, and you never know when it's going to hit you. And then after a while, maybe the waves will come less frequently and they kind of even out, and then out of nowhere, you'll get hit with another one. You know, you think you're doing fine and it just comes up. And we have to be okay with all of that. If we can be in acceptance of how this progresses and accept it as it comes, feel the feelings in your body when it hits you, you can get through it. So I'm going to break this down even more in some future videos. But for now, I hope that gives you a little bit of comfort and insight into what's going on. All right. Thanks so much. I'll see you again soon. Bye.